Okay, so good morning.
Morning.
I'm on my way to work, second day back after my vacation. I left myself 5 days of recovery time to get back in the rhythm of things. So I am detoxing too. I'm weaning on my nicotine. So that was like something that I procrastinated. I ideally would have weaned or gone cold turkey with a 3-day window before going back to work, because I wasn't vaping at all at work and it was nice. One thing about work is that with the nicotine addiction, it's a chicken and egg thing. It's like a cause and effect thing, because I have noticed that when my nicotine addiction is bad, when I actually am using nicotine and going to work, then I become the biggest clock watcher. And I actually hate working. I hate being at work. And it's all driven by the addiction. So the addiction is not something that I can say, I have to do that, because when I don't, when I'm off nicotine at work, literally there are days when the time just flies by, and sometimes people will be like, you have to take a break now, and I'm like, oh, okay. And that's the difference, and that's what I'm trying to get back to. But as I said, I went on a little bit of a bender in South Dakota, so we are transitioning back to So how am I doing? How would you say I'm doing?
I think you're doing fine. I'm glad to see you get off it.
Well, yeah. And plus we have overtime, so that's been difficult.
Right.
I'm doing mandatory overtime because everybody's having the day they voted for. And it might last years, actually, we're thinking at this point. The business is in business critical only mode. We are short staffed. They are hiring, but not nearly at the rate that the rest of us feel they need to. And they are facing tariffs specifically on products coming in from Canada. So that's been a joy. And I will say about the nicotine that one thing it does do is keep a little bit of a lid on me, because it is difficult for me to be in break rooms with people actively watching Fox fucking News on their phone and being pumped full of bullshit propaganda like we discussed yesterday.
Right.
So, I mean, that's one of the bittersweet things to me about thinking about leaving this place, because you have known me for as long as I've worked there. We pretty much became friends as I was onboarding there. Right? That's when we were friends, and then we started dating, and I was still there, and I was telling you how much I actually loved working there. Remember? Yeah. And that's because I felt like I was finally at a place where I had good pay, good benefits, the conditions were great. I described it actually as a worker's paradise. I went in there all balls out one time and told them that I was thinking about organizing my former coworkers from my call monitoring job. I used to work for the Department of Corrections. And I was wantonly exploited through a system of 4 layers of government subcontracts. And I was like, this place needs an ass whooping. But when I got to the warehouse, this company that actually, they used to be union, but these dumb baby boomer motherfuckers decertified, frankly. And I say that, I love them. I get along really well with them on the floor. But it is every day about compartmentalizing for me right now. So anyway, I went in there, told the HR person, look, I used to be a labor organizer. I'm thinking about doing it again, but I would never organize here because this is not a hot shop. And, let me tell you, it's so not a hot shop. Although it's going to be interesting to watch because the tariffs and the situation are directly FAFO, right? Directly. And the horrible thing during the election was for me to watch my coworkers with whom I had great work relationships become just Trump zombies. Like, they're unhappy with everything because they don't know any better. Because they've worked there their whole lives. They've had the great benefits. They've had this is actually one of those manufacturing jobs that they're talking about with this erstwhile nostalgic, like, bring it back to America. I have this. I understand the value of this. I live it every day. And yet, it's like these people on their way out the door who've been there 30 years don't even appreciate how different working circumstances are for people like millennials and Gen Zers. You know?
Right. And they're voting against their own success.
Yes, because instead of organizing and being, like, proactive, they are being, frankly, lazy and wanting somebody else to save them and solve their problems for them because they decertified. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, every day I bite my tongue and I chew a lozenge. That's what I do because I'm like, I can't even. Okay, so I'm just like, we get a lot of this out in the car on the way to and from, and that is also very helpful. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
So yeah, today is going to be a 9-hour day. We're starting an hour earlier. We got to vote on that. You know, there are some ways in which the company goes out of its way to give us a voice, to give us autonomy. And it's just going to be really bittersweet when I leave because I feel like I like management. I get along well with management. I have no aspirations to go to management. That's another thing they keep, like, pushing, like, where do you see yourself? What do you career? I see myself on a boat with my man. Like, no.
You'll get used to retirement.
He keeps telling me that. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Like, the more he talks about it, the more I'm like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, right? Like, yeah. I want to be a health coach. I want to train police dogs. I want to help with human trafficking. Like, I'm like, I think it's like the thing that you think that you want and then you get it and then you don't know. Like, I don't know. I really don't know how I'm going to do. But there is writing, too.
You can do any of those things, but you have to be an ocean crossing sailor first.
Yeah.